Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm so glad that you are joining us today. We're going to be talking about niching in your business, which is such an important topic because niching is truly the fastest way to position your company for massive growth by doing exactly what you absolutely love to do. Okay. So we're talking about niching today, and I know right now that all the social media channels that we're going to be broadcasting on are trying to let you guys know that we're live here. So I'm just going to give this a couple of minutes to start gathering people so you guys can watch and learn and grow with us today. I will tell you right now, for anyone who's already on, if you could identify yourself in the chat and just let us know that you're here, that would be amazing. I love interacting with you guys and helping you real time. And I'm really hoping today that we actually have some time to do a little hot seat exercise. So if one of you guys that's listening live is really interested in getting some free marketing consulting right now, where I actually help you identify a niche or two that you could hone in on, that's something that we're going to do a little bit later in the training this morning. So if that is of interest to you, you definitely need to identify yourself in the chat and let us know that you're here, and just say, yes, help me, I want it. And hopefully we will have time to do that for one of you guys today before we finish. So if you're just joining us, welcome. Today we are talking about niching in your small business, and we're kind of demystifying that whole saying that maybe you guys have heard before about the riches are in the niches, right? The riches are in the niches, and whether you've heard it or not, first of all, it's true. But we're going to talk about why it's true, and more importantly, what that means to you and how that can truly impact your business, right? Like, because that's what it's all about, right? I mean, there's the big guys out there that are doing their thing, but we want to talk about you guys doing your thing and growing your small business and taking it to the next level with really smart marketing moves. That's what we are all about at SizzleForce, right? We want to figure out what's the strategy, what's the copy and the content, what's the messaging that's going to help you advance to the next level, and what's the fastest path to success for you. And that's what we teach through SizzleForce Marketing Academy, which is our DI sort of why members only club, where we work with them on a monthly basis, helping them grow their companies and teaching them all the marketing things that they need to know, and keeping them focused on what they need to do now to really move forward. So hopefully we've got some people joining us at this point. Please identify yourself in the chat. Please say hello. Let me know you're here. And if you are interested in being in the hot seat today and getting a chance for me to help you identify your niche real time, throw your name up in the chat. We will be picking someone toward the end of this training to do that. And it's going to be awesome, because normally people pay a lot of money for consulting with me, and you guys can get it for free today. So woohoo! All right, so let's dig in. You guys, truly the fastest way to position your company for massive success is to do exactly what you may think you shouldn't do, and that is narrow your market. Like, a lot of times I'll talk to small business owners and they'll be like, well, why in the world would I narrow my market, Stephanie? I need to get as many sales as I can, right? I don't want to narrow down. I want all of the people to know about me. I want all of the people to be incentivized to buy from me. I want all of the people to hear about me and spread the word about me and all of that good stuff. Well, the truth is that's an approach, but it is not the very best approach. right? Um, Niching, when you do it, actually allows you to double, triple, even quadruple your income faster than almost anything. So we're going to unpack why that is, okay? First of all, when you niche, you become a specialist instead of just being a generalist, right? I mean, if you're going to go and get heart surgery, who do you want to do your heart surgery? Your primary care doctor or a cardiologist, right? People value specialists, specialized training, specialized abilities, specialized skill sets, specialized processes, specialized tools, all of those things. When you are a specialist and not a generalist, you really start to eliminate that, oh yeah, I do that too factor in business, which is something that plagues so many small business owners, right? You're just like, just another rock in the pond, right? There's a million of them. And we don't want to be that. We want to be unique and we want to be different. Okay, when you niche, it really positions you to stand out in a crowded and very, very noisy market, which is so important too, right? I mean, we all know people have a lot of choices on who they do business with, and we want to give our ideal customers every reason to choose doing business with us. Another thing that's great about niching is that it positions you to stop chasing all the wrong people who are actually never going to buy what you sell, and instead become laser focused on serving one market with one very special need, one very special want, one very special problem that you solve. Okay. So, um, when you are not chasing all the wrong people, you are not trying to advertise everywhere, right? I mean, how many of you guys are like, oh, I'm going to put some ad dollars here for PPC ads, and then I'm going to do some ads here on Facebook, and then I'm going to do some ads over here on Pinterest, and I'm also going to buy a magazine ad over here in my neighborhood publication. And oh gosh, the cable company called and they said that I could advertise there. And you're just kind of throwing spaghetti wildly against the wall and just praying something sticks. Okay, well, when you niche, that doesn't happen as much because you know you're trying to go after this one particular customer, and this one particular customer is not in all of those places. And so you don't waste money advertising places where you shouldn't be hanging out, right? You're also not even trying, like, let's say you do Facebook ads, right? And anyone who's done Facebook ads knows that you have to pick your audiences, right? If you don't have a niche, you could pick very, very, very broad audiences and spend a lot of money really fast and get a whole lot of nothing when it comes to results, right? So when you niche, it allows you to, instead of, picking 50 different audiences, right? You can really hone in on a handful of audiences and find that real needle in the haystack gem of an audience that's absolutely perfect for you, and find it a lot faster. Okay. Another thing with niching that makes it awesome is that you don't need to test 18 billion different marketing messages, nor do you even need to have 18 billion different marketing messages, because again, you're focused on one customer who wants one specific solution to one specific problem. So you're not confusing the marketplace by sharing this and that and the other thing. Okay, so for those of you guys that might be joining us a little bit late, I would like to encourage you to identify yourself in the chat. Don't be a lurker, right? Let me know that you are here today, and let's dig into this together. In case you did not hear my announcement at the beginning, we are going to be doing a hot seat toward the end of this, assuming we have somebody who wants to be in the hot seat and get some free marketing consulting today. And I'm going to help one of you guys actually come up with some niche ideas for your small business. So if you are interested in that, make sure you pop your name in the chat and say, yes, I want to be in the hot seat. And hopefully we'll be able to work with one of you in a little bit. Okay. The final reason why I think niching is so amazing is that really when all is said and done, it positions you to work with the people that you really, really want to work with, right? I mean, as business owners, it's different than when perhaps in the past you were an employee. When you were an employee, you had to work with whoever you were told to work with, right? As a business owner, you get to choose who you work with, especially when you niche. You're going to attract a certain type of customer over and over and over again. And if you pick the right niche, this is going to be a customer you really, really love to work with, right? And there can be a lot of different reasons why that is, but niching just makes working with the people you enjoy working with the most that much more attainable and feasible for you. So what exactly is a niche? Well, let's dig into this. It is, in the most simplest of terms, it is a single offering for a narrow target market, okay? A single offering for a narrow target market. The way I think of it, it's the end of I sell to everyone, or I'll sell to anyone who will buy. It's the end of that, because that gets you like nowhere really, really fast, right? It is the beginning of I sell to one very specific customer, and I am absolutely crushing it because of that. So let's consider a couple of examples, you guys. Let's just look at some companies that I think you've probably all heard of that have niched and what has happened as a result of the niching, okay? So first of all, the Dollar Shave Club, okay? The Dollar Shave Club. Now, they were founded in 2011 on this very simple idea. I've got a hair right in my eyes. I've got the fan going above me and it keeps blowing. So forgive me for doing that. I might be moving the hair out of my face throughout our call or training today. The Dollar Shave Club, again, founded in 2011. They sold one thing at the time: cheap razors delivered to your door. Okay. 3 years later, 3 years, which you guys, I mean, think about it. Think how quickly 3 years passes. It can go real quick. Well, 3 years later, this like company that came out of nowhere had 48% of the market share in the razor category, okay? They were stacking up next to the giants, next to Gillette, next to Schick, right? They were at almost half, they owned almost half of the online razor market in 3 years because they niched, right? Now, here's where it gets super crazy. In July of 2016, they were acquired by Unilever. And guess how much they were acquired for? Anybody want to guess? Because it was nutty. They were acquired for $1 billion, all cash. 1 billion with a B dollars, all cash. Okay, because these are like two guys who just had an idea, who 5 years later got an all cash $1 billion offer for their company. If it can happen to them, why can't it happen to you? It can. It absolutely can. Let's look at another one. Okay, Dry Bar. Dry Bar is another example. When they started, it was actually a woman named Allie. Allie started her company. She was a hairdresser. And at this point, she was, I don't know if she was a stay-at-home mom, or I think that was the story, that she had left working in the salon and was at home. And she got this idea one day that, well, why don't I just charge people $40 and I'll blow dry their hair and make their hair look fabulous. And so she's just started offering it to friends and family. And before you knew it, it, caught on, because she could make you look amazing without going to a full normal salon appointment that A, takes a lot of time, B, you have to go somewhere else, C, it's, it adds up real quick. Any woman who gets her hair done at a nice salon understands that, right? And so Allie decided, well, I'll have them come to my house and I'll blow dry their hair for $40, or I'll go to their house and I'll blow dry their hair for $40, right? Make it super duper easy. She niched only in blow dries. She did not offer cuts. She did not offer colors. She did not offer anything else. Well, fast forward to 2020, and Allie sold Dry Bar for $255 million. $255 million. Okay, now that's not a billion, but I don't think any of you would complain if you made $255 million. Am I right? I know I'm right. Okay, let's look at another example of a company that honed in on a specific niche and crushed it. Peloton. How many of you guys have a Peloton bike? Well, when they first started, they were only selling the bike, okay? And their first attempt to get money outside of their own money was to go on Kickstarter, right? Very, homespun, just some people with an idea and something they had created that they thought, we might be onto something. So, so they made this bike. Now, let's keep in mind, exercise bikes had been around forever, right? Forever. So, did the world really need a new exercise bike? Well, you might think at first, no, but they did. And the reason we know they did was because they put a new twist on the exercise bike. And as a result, it didn't take long before they were selling their bikes for $2,000 each, plus a $39 monthly subscription fee to live stream their classes, right? So, want to know what they're valued at today? Now, remember, it all started with one product, a bike, an exercise bike. They are valued today at over $4 billion. Again, that's with a B, $4 billion. So, now all of these companies eventually went on to working outside of their niche. Once they dominated a specific category, they ended up expanding, right? Which is perfectly fine to do. In fact, it's smart to do. But in the beginning, they were laser focused on one thing, just one thing, one market, meeting one need with one product or service, okay? And that's kind of the lesson here that you guys need to take home. So these are, just a few of the companies that have realized the power of niching. They identified a need in the marketplace and they dove in headfirst to meet it. And if you really want to take a big leap forward in your business, you are going to do the exact same thing. So let's talk a little bit about how to identify your niche. So one way to identify your niche is to find a hole in the marketplace and fill it. Okay, so this is what Lululemon did. People have been working out forever. I think back when I was a kid and Jane Fonda was all the thing, and getting the leotards and the leg warmers and that whole thing, right? Sweats, of course. How long has Hanes been making the basic sweatshirt and sweatpants? And, workout clothes have been available in, whether you shopped at, Walmart or Sears or something like that. They've been available forever, Big Five, whatever it is, right? But when Lululemon entered into the marketplace, they did so on the premise that you couldn't find stylish workout clothes anywhere that actually served the purpose of working out, right? Did what they needed to do, allowed you to move, allowed you to sweat, allowed you to breathe, your clothing to breathe while you were sweating, but also looked really cute, right? So after your workout, you could go and get smoothies with your girlfriends and feel cute. Or you could even wear the workout clothes and look like you're going to work out, but never actually work out. You just look like you were going to work out. So all of a sudden, because they started making workout clothes cute, women were suddenly dropping like $100 for a hoodie and $88 for a pair of leggings or $50 for a workout bra. You guys, and this is, it used to be what, $10 for something like this? And now women were lining up to shop at this place, and they still do today, right? They absolutely took the market by storm and became a name that I would say most women, at least in America, are going to be familiar with. Not too long after that, everybody started to copy them. You could find, all of a sudden, you could find the really cute workout outfits at the Gap or at Target or Victoria's Secret or whatever. Now, did Lululemon invent workout clothes? Absolutely not. But were they the first to make the clothes cute enough to wear when you're going out with the girls? Yes, they were. So they found a hole in the marketplace and they filled it. And that is one great way to identify a niche. So my question to you guys today is, what are some needs that are not being met in your industry, right? What are some of those needs? Because typically, when you identify those needs, if you have a product or service that can meet those needs, it can become an incredible niche for you. And you can be the next Lululemon, you can be the next Dollar Shave Club, et cetera, et cetera. So here is another way for you to pick your niche. I want you to consider what you're just really authentically, deeply passionate about and niche around that. So for this, a lot of times you have to kind of turn back the hands of time and you need to think about, well, what are the defining moments in your life? Think about what were those moments when something big happened in your life? It was a pivotal thing, something that had, a dramatic impact on your life story. Another question, what totally infuriates you about your industry? If there's something that infuriates you about it that you just think is just wrong, you can often find that passion about being against something can turn into a very powerful niche. Okay. On the flip side, what makes you so excited you just can barely contain yourself, right? What is it? What's that thing that you do that when you're doing it, you are in the zone, you are in your genius zone, you are in your happy place, and you're like, if I could just do this all day, every day, I would be the happiest person on the planet. So let's break this down for like a small business owner. Let's pretend that you are a tutor, okay? And you have your own business as a tutor. You're not employed by somebody else. So you could, let's say you're a writing tutor specifically, and you could really help any student become a better writer with your help, right? You could work with anybody who was willing to learn, right? And who wanted to get better. But let's say when you did the exercise of thinking back to the pivotal moments in your life, you remembered the fact that you grew up with an autistic brother. And for years, you watched your autistic brother struggle to complete his school writing assignments, right? It was just so difficult. It was so painful for him. And you lived that. You lived through that. Sometimes maybe your parents told you to help him, right? Sometimes you just watched from the sidelines as he struggled, whatever it looked like, right? What if you took that experience and your love for writing and teaching and combined it, and you became a writing tutor specifically for autistic children? Okay, do you think people would pay more for you? I am here right now to tell you they absolutely would, because I have an autistic son, right? And actually, um, my son doesn't struggle specifically with writing. He has some different struggles, right? But if that were one of his struggles, would I pay more to work with someone who specialized in working with kids who are a specialist who understood the unique needs that my son has? It's more than just learning how to write. I'd pay more, probably pay 2 or 3 times as much as I would pay for a generalist when it comes to writing tutors, right? Because that is how valuable it would be to me. And that's how valuable it is to the marketplace of your ideal customers. Okay. The other thing that's so amazing about that is that by doing that, you would be living your passion, right? So you'd be making more doing what you already love to do, but you would be doing it in a way where it would be so personally fulfilling, probably. And isn't that what we all want, right? We want an opportunity to run a business where we truly make a difference, where we make a great living, and where we love to get out of bed in the morning and show up and do what we do, because we're in our zone, right? It's our happy place. So another niche idea that you guys could build around is around like some specialized skills that you have. So when you think about this, I want you to think about what have you learned at previous jobs, right? What certifications have you earned? Maybe you majored in this in college, and then, 20 years later, you got a certification in something. Or maybe you just go back to what you did major in college, right? Or maybe you didn't major in anything in college and you just did a couple of years at a JC, but you got some very specialized experience there. You can also think about where you have volunteered and gained some great experience. There's a lot of different places where you can build up specialized skills. And so I encourage you to really think about all of the different things you've done. Write down every job you've ever had and what some of the skills are that you learned there that are relevant to what you're doing now, right? There are so many different ways for you guys to identify a niche. I created a tool for you guys and I want to give it to you today. You can get it. It's called the Ultimate Niche Finder. Okay. And it does exactly what the name implies. It helps you find your niche. And it really includes some very thought-provoking questions, which I find is really the key to nailing this, right? You just need to know what the right questions are and then answer those questions so that you can uncover the niche that you were really born to serve. So again, you guys, it's a gift from me to you. If you would like it, you can just go to SizzleForce.com/niche, or niche, if you like to say it that way. And just give me your email address and I'll pop it right over to you. So once again, it's SizzleForce.com/niche. So I am going to bring up my trusty sidekick, Amanda, now. If you put a comment in the chat, I would love to help you figure out what your niche is live in real time right now. Anyone who's listening, if you have questions about niching, maybe you have hesitations about niching. Maybe you're just like, no, but Stephanie, I shouldn't niche because of X, Y, and Z. Well, let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and maybe you'll find that there's something that you haven't considered yet that actually is really powerful and it'll change your mind, but maybe not. I was telling everybody how you were in your last life, you were a personal chef, and how you not too long ago decided to pivot and serve a new market with a new service.
Mhm.
And actually, before I don't want to say any more about it because you're the best one to talk about it. So, can you just tell all of our watchers what you do and who you serve?
Yeah. So I am a nutrition coach. The business is called Headstrong Nutrition Coaching. And what I do is I help people learn healthier eating habits. I work with them one on one to kind of find where they're at now with their nutrition and learn ways to improve upon it, make it better, via slow, sustainable changes. So I don't advocate for restrictive diets. I don't advocate for anything like that. It's meant to be sustainable over the long haul, and just learning to make those improvements in their day.
Okay. I love it. And I know Amanda is working with you right now, and I'm going to start working with you.
Yay!
So, yeah, so this is super exciting. Okay, so to find your niche, um, the first question that we generally ask people is, what do you do? But you just told us what you do. So we're good now. So, who do you do it for right now?
I have, a few different demographics, if you will. I will say the majority of my clients are women in the 30 to 50 range.
Okay,
Um, they're people who have had an extensive dieting history. They're
okay,
frustrated because they diet, they do well, they come off the diet, and then they lose all their progress. And they're kind of frustrated with that cycle of restricting and then losing the progress. And so they're looking for something more sustainable. They're looking for something like Amanda came to me and was like, I still want to eat tacos. They're still looking to be able to live their life and have fun and um, but still make progress towards,
I also
whether it's
told her I
weight
was
loss
gonna
or
cry if she made me give up cheese.
yeah, exactly. She did. So it's all about,
okay,
maybe weight loss is the goal, but more so about feeling better, having energy, being able to enjoy life and not feeling guilty when they go out with friends, but then knowing how to make those better choices day to day.
okay, okay, very good. So tell me this, why, this is the next question, just so you guys know. So you might want to document some of these questions because this can help you get started. Again, this is not to replace getting the ultimate niche finder document though, because that's got way more in-depth stuff and you guys want to get that. So short little commercial break stuff. If you guys do not have the ultimate niche finder document, you really need to go get it. Okay, it's free. It's my gift to you. SizzleForce.com/niche. Okay, now we're back from our commercial break. Steph, tell me why you do what you do.
So, as a personal chef, I was hired by a lot of people who were trying to do these restrictive diets. They were trying to do keto or paleo or vegan or something that a doctor had put them on where they wanted them. I had one client who was only allowed to eat game meats and exotic meats.
Oh,
And they,
wow.
yeah, and they didn't know how to cook this way. They didn't know how to cook these foods. They didn't have time or mental space to figure it out. So they'd hire me to come in and do these diets for them. And I would, at the time, I really didn't have a lot of nutritional knowledge to be able to kind of guide them otherwise. So I would come in and help them out. None of them ever had results because they just couldn't sustain it. And I could only make so many meals for them. And then on the weekends, they'd be on their own and they wouldn't know what to do. And it was just very disheartening to feel like I couldn't help them with what they needed to do. At the same time, I was trying to figure out my own nutritional journey. I had also done all kinds of diets and all kinds of workouts, some with better success than others. And it wasn't until myself and my husband both started working with a nutrition coach that we really saw pretty amazing results that we've been able to sustain ever since. I fell in love with the process. I was just eager to learn as much as I could about how is this working and why is this working. And so I went and got certified and realized that's just where I needed to be.
Okay, and where did you get certified?
Precision nutrition.
That's a big name.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard that name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very good. Very reputable. certification. Very,
Very.
very reputable. Not like one of these overnight certifications you can buy on Groupon for $39.
Exactly. Yeah, they're in the
Right?
nutrition coaching community. They're kind of considered the gold standard. I did their level 1 certification, and I'm now in process of working on their level 2 certification, which is a year-long mentorship, basically.
Awesome. That's so good. So, what drives you absolutely crazy when you think about what you do?
What drives me crazy? Trying to compete with diets that promise fast results, because what we do here is not quick. Um, it frustrates people, but they understand the why behind it. But trying to compete with that obviously is frustrating, because in our culture now, people want stuff and they want it now. So
Yeah.
trying to, convey to people why it needs to be slower, why we need to work on small things a little at a time can be frustrating. In addition to just, the teas and the cleanses and the juicing and the things that really don't have much effect, and people really trying to focus on that one thing that's going to get them the results they want, instead of really looking at the big picture of things, and everything that they're doing over the course of weeks, months, years. So
Okay.
it's a lot of messaging to compete with, I guess.
Sure. Sure. Okay. I'm taking some notes here, all of the things. Okay, got it. Okay. Why do you absolutely love what you do?
Because I love seeing when people get it. I love seeing the mind shift changes. I love when people come to me and they're like, I have so much energy and I didn't know I could have this much energy. I just assumed that, I was middle aged and I was just never going to have energy again. I love when people can go out to eat with friends and they feel like I was able to enjoy myself, but I didn't go crazy and I didn't wake up feeling bloated and gross the next day. And just kind of seeing those little mindset shifts. I really love that. And I just kind of like geek out over the whole thing. Like I just love nutrition and it just makes me excited in general. And, I don't know. I just really like it.
Well, and you love food, right?
And I
You
love
were a
food. Yeah.
chef and
Yeah.
now it's all around food.
Yeah,
Okay.
and helping people still enjoy food and not feeling deprived or feeling like, oh, I can never eat this one thing again. Helping people really kind of learn how to still have those things that they love.
Okay. Do you feel like that's rare in your industry?
Yes.
Okay.
It
Still
seems to
being able
be.
to
I mean,
have
it's
the
kind of split. There's more people that are kind of having this mentality. So there is sort of a divide, but there's definitely a lot of messaging out there about, don't eat during certain times or don't eat certain foods or those sorts of things is still very, very predominant.
right, right. Um, so what are some holes that you see in the marketplace right now?
I don't know. That's a tough one that I'm struggling to answer.
So I'm gonna I'm gonna put Amanda on the spot right now. So Amanda, hope you're listening. So um Amanda, knowing that she is your client right now, I'm curious to you, Amanda, what are the holes that you saw in the marketplace that made you say, "Ooh, Stephanie has something different. I want to work with her." Because I know you were doing keto
Yeah.
and
So,
you lost a tremendous amount of weight, right?
yeah. So I think what ultimately ended up making me have that first conversation with Stephanie about what she does was um there's like I mean there's keto, there's paleo, there's all of these different diet options, but they're all just like they all just kind of exist as their own thing. But I think what Stephanie does that's so great is that she's not she's not giving every single person who she works with the exact same plan. The plan is customized based on your activity level and what your goals are and what types of food you want to eat, to be honest. Like when I started with her, she told me, she was like, if you want to continue doing a more low carb plan, we can work with that. And I was like, no, I want to be able to eat bread. Like I want to be able to go eat pasta and not feel like I've totally screwed myself over. So that was part of the plan for me. But she gave me that option to continue doing a more low carb because keto worked so well for me for as long as it did. So I think that it's the customization that is what was missing for me, at least, for sure.
Okay, very good. See, this is good market research for you, Steph.
It is. Yeah, I like seeing the other perspective behind it.
Sure. So a lesson for everybody else, when you're trying to figure this stuff out, it's great to dig inside your own brain and, write down your own answers to stuff. But it's really also super beneficial and important to get the feedback from the people you've actually done business with previously, whether you have a product or a service. And you can get that feedback in a lot of ways. I mean, typically when you're a small business owner, you'll kind of have like a small handful of like your favorite clients, if you want to say that, where you can talk to them at a deeper, a little more honest and vulnerable level than you might be able to with the general public, right? But you can also just look at your reviews. I mean, we have one client who has literally thousands of online reviews, right? She can look at those reviews and see what people are saying over and over again. So that can be a really good tip for all of this. So Steph, back to you. What do you think you do better than the other people in your space? And I want you to take any hesitation about bragging off of the table right now, because I am telling you, I would like to see the most arrogant side of you that can come out.
That's hard.
I know, but you're very good at what you do, and I want you to stand in your strength.
I think sort of Amanda hit on this a little bit. A lot of what I do is called being client-centered. So a lot of people in the fitness and nutrition sphere want to be drill sergeants. They want to tell people, do this, do that. And if you don't do it exactly the way I tell you to do it, then you're not going to have good success. And I don't do it that way. People need to be in control of themselves. They need to be autonomous. I'm going to guide and I'm going to say, here's what I think. But ultimately, it's up to the client. And if something's not working for them, then we adjust and we course correct. If someone comes to me and they're like, I know that this works really well for me, then I'll work with that. So it has to be a partnership. And, I don't come in as a drill sergeant, which sometimes frustrates people because they want to be told what to do and what not to do, and I won't do it.
Okay. But Amanda, in your experience, is having her not be a drill sergeant, how has that been for you?
Sorry, I keep muting myself because I have weird background noise sometimes.
Okay.
For me, it's been exactly what I needed, because I've struggled a lot with like diet culture, with feeling like I restricted myself ends up being really bad for my mental health. So for me, having the freedom of like, I did a road trip to Georgia a few weeks ago. So being able to just not track those 2 days that we were in the car and not feel like I was going to get chewed out by my nutrition coach, like that was, did I gain some weight while I was on that road trip? Yes, absolutely. But I didn't feel like I was messing up my relationship with my coach, and I don't like disappointing people. So I didn't feel like disappointing Stephanie because I didn't track those days, and I am not really totally sure what I actually ate.
Yeah, very good. Very good. See, this is so good. So you guys, do you see, for everyone that's watching, do you guys see how important it is to actually talk to your customers and hear about their real feedback? It is such an important part of all of this process. Okay. So Steph, one last question for you. I think, but I might come up with more. But what do your clients say they really love about you?
Um, I think the main thing that I get is that I hear a lot that they feel the least amount of stress than they've ever felt doing any other kind of diet or, trying to lose weight or work on their health or anything like that. Um, I think that's kind of the main compliment I seem to get, which is good. That's what I'm going for because stress is very, very bad. People don't realize how tied into stress, our health and our nutrition and everything is. So I want it to be a low stress experience for people.
Okay. So now what I would be doing if I were trying to find a niche for Steph, what I would do here is I would review all the answers to the questions that we just asked her, right? And then I would go into my ultimate niche finder and ask her more questions. But for the sake of time, we're going to try and work with what we have here. So we know, let me just summarize, make sure I got this right. We know you work with women typically, and you said from age 30s, in the 30s to the 50s, typically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They have an extended dieting history. They're frustrated because they've been dieting and they start diets, they have some success, then they stop the diet and, they gain all the weight back and then some. Okay. They want to feel better. They want to enjoy their life. Then when I asked you, well, what do? You said, I was a personal chef. I was hired by people doing these super restrictive diets that didn't know how to cook the foods. So they'd hire you to do it for them. And again, their restrictive diets were not sustainable. And then you had your own journey where what was your goal? You and your husband, were you trying to lose weight, get stronger, get energy? What were you trying to do?
Yeah, so my husband was trying to lose weight. He started kind of after me and saw that I was having success with the coaching. For me, honestly, I was trying to win a weight loss challenge at the gym. That was how my whole thing started. I had kind of come to the conclusion that the weight that I was at was the weight I was always going to be, and it wasn't worth fighting it. And I should just try to learn how to be as healthy as I can be at that weight.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a weight loss challenge at the gym, and I'm like, okay, yeah, let me try this nutrition coaching thing I've heard about. Maybe I'll lose like 10, 15 pounds, and then I'll stop the coaching and I'll put it right back on, but whatever, maybe I'll win the contest. And I ended up losing more weight than I had ever lost in my adult life and kept it off. And so it was really like surprising and eye-opening for me. My husband, on the other hand, lost about 150 pounds in his journey. So it was completely
What? That's a
transformational for him.
person. That's a human.
Yeah. Yes.
Isn't it unfair how much more quickly men can lose weight?
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Okay, so you guys had this personal success story. Then you got certified with Precision Nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
You told me that you get super frustrated by the quick fix diet culture, right? Like you just want to do something for a day and lose 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Which that's something I've struggled with. Okay. Then you said you love watching people transform their lives, right? And still being able to eat food and do the things that they love. And you told me one thing that's different about you is that you're super client-centered and you're not the drill coach.
Yep.
And Amanda kind of confirmed that it's been good for her mental health to not like be afraid of you. That when she screws up and or even just intentionally decides I'm on vacation and I'm not going to freak out about this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so niches within this area. Okay, there's the simple niche of niching down in women in midlife. Okay, now in the 30s, that's a little bit young to say midlife, but the 40s you get there, right? So that's kind of a more generic niche, is just saying that you do that. I think another niche, and Amanda, I would love for you to jump in here because you have lots of great ideas too. For those of you guys that don't know, Amanda and I have been working together for like 7 or 8 years now. And she's got a brilliant mind on inside that head of hers. So Another niche is, I think there's really something to being the anti-drill sergeant approach to weight loss, right? Where I think anyone who has tried to lose weight before has probably experienced the drill sergeant mentality. And there's certain personalities that are people pleasers. Amanda confessed to being one. I am one, right? Like,
Yep.
I don't like it when people get mad at me. I don't want to disappoint anybody, right? And I want to live my life, but I also want to get results, right?
Sure.
So I'm thinking that anti-drill sergeant thing, there might really be some room to play there, and it could really set you up. It's a fun word picture, right? You picture the typical coach that's like, this dude that's like totally ripped and, looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger and has spit coming out of his mouth and is making you feel like you're just terrified. So you're pedaling faster on the bike and you're only, eating green beans or whatever it is. Okay. Amanda, what are your thoughts so far? I'm just curious.
I like anti-drill sergeant. I was actually gonna say, like it's not really a diet. It's almost like an anti-diet. Before you said anti-drill sergeant, that was what was in my head.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, I think for me, as someone who has spent years and years and years battling diet culture, like restrictive diets don't work well for me mentally and emotionally. It's just not a good fit. So for me going into this, the big change was like, it's not, you have to eat this and this and this. You can't eat this list of things. It's not that. There's none of that, which was almost like culture shock to me a little bit at first, because I was like, wait, you're not going to tell me I can't eat whatever it is that I want? Like, it was weird at first, but it's figuring out how to fit those things into your life and how to make it work when you want those things. So like, I might eat nothing but chicken in different forms one day, but then the next day I just really want to have a hamburger, and that's okay because I know how to make it work for me now.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it's almost like the freedom diet. That's what keeps coming into my head, right?
Yeah.
It's like, or I probably wouldn't even use the word diet. I almost want to say like the freedom formula, right?
Yeah.
Like how to eat what you love and yet live a healthy, energized life at, a healthy weight. Something like that, right? I mean, we would have to play with your messaging, obviously.
Yeah.
But what do you think about, kind of going down this anti-diet niche?
Yeah, I really like it. I describe myself, I kind of straddle the two, I think, in a way, because there is a whole anti-diet movement. But with that, it's a lot of intuitive eating and not really tracking, where with what we do track what everyone eats. So I'm kind of careful in that because I kind of straddle the line. It's kind of learning the balance of like tracking enough to be aware and not just mindlessly eating, but using that as a tool in a healthy way and not in a restrictive way.
So that is going to give me some little extra ammunition to go with the freedom formula idea, because freedom implies that you have the freedom to do things, but the formula implies, but no, you're not just like, eating burritos every day and flying high and losing 50 pounds, right?
Yep.
So I think there might be something there for you, right? The combination of the anti-diet with the formula, right? With the success formula, the two of those put together, and that becomes your specialty, which is absolutely, when you're working on your messaging, is absolutely going to resonate, with all the people that have done the drill sergeant approach, B, with everyone who's just like, I don't want to give up my life. I'm sick of like restricting myself and going to a party and not being able to go out to dinner with my friends or go on a date with my husband without feeling guilty, right? But I need to get results. There needs to be some structure. I don't trust myself. I'm not intuitive. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Somebody needs to help me and guide me. And that was one word you used, is you said, I'm a guide. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So what do you think? Is this kind of niche idea resonating with you?
Absolutely. Yeah, I like the freedom formula thought. I definitely think there's some play in there with that. I like that.
Yeah. So we've just started. We've just started the process. Okay. Thank you, Steph. You are an amazing hot seat guest. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I'm excited to see what happens as a result of this. I'm extra excited because you're in SizzleForce Marketing Academy. You are a member already. So we're going to unpack this with you throughout your membership and dig deeper into this. But on that note, Steph, since I have you here, can you tell people about your experience as a member of the Academy? I'm just curious if you could tell them.
Yeah, so I signed up. Well, first it was the marketing challenge that y'all did. Y'all did the month-long challenge. Marketing, even with my last business with the personal chef business and now with this one, it's just not, I'm not wired for marketing. I really struggle with marketing. And it takes a lot of brain power. But I signed up and did that challenge y'all offered, and it just like was fun. Like somehow y'all made marketing fun, even though marketing most of the time makes me want to like pull my teeth out. Like I hate it. And I had fun, and it felt like so less overwhelming. And for the first time, I felt like I can actually do this. This feels very doable. And so I was inspired to sign up for the Academy. And that's very much how it's been. I mean, you guys break it down really well. To where it's still a lot. I mean, I have a huge marketing to-do list, but at the same time, it doesn't feel impossible, which is how a lot of times with marketing, I would just be like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this, and just kind of throw up my hands with it. Where this, I'm really still motivated to keep sort of chucking away at it every day, like just a little bit at a time, going through the videos, going through the tasks, and just trying to do what I can do every day. And I feel less intimidated by it, if that makes sense.
That's so good. I'm so glad to hear that. And thank you. That was a total, I didn't know you were even going to be in the hot seat. I certainly didn't know you were going to get a testimonial, but I appreciate it. Okay, so for those of you guys that are going to catch the recording of this, if you have questions, please pop them up in the comments. We'll be checking them, and we'll get back to as many of you guys as we can, and give you some answers. But I really do want to encourage you, show up live whenever you can. Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific, we're going live, and we're doing these marketing trainings to help you guys get unstuck. Because I asked Stephanie, well, what makes you crazy about your industry? You know what makes me crazy about my industry is how so many people are stuck and buying all the wrong solutions, okay? They're buying the quick fix marketing solutions, right? Just like with weight loss, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't, right? So I want to help you guys. I've been doing this for 26 years. I know a thing or two. And Amanda's been working with me for almost 8 years, and she's learned a lot, and we're here to help you guys. So there you go. Just one last reminder, go grab the Ultimate Niche Finder at sizzleforce.com/niche. And then please plan to join us next Wednesday at 11 a.m. for another live marketing training.